Let's begin. Mitchell the Otter, page number 109, part 4. So he started rubbing his nose to the author. Midge and I remained in London for nearly a month. Anyhow, after lots of trouble also, they reach London nearly for a month, and he stayed with him for a month. He would play for hours with a selection of toys. Ping pong balls means he used to play with. There were lots of toys and with which he played, like the ping pong ball, that is the table tennis ball that we call, marbles, rubber fruits, and a terrapin shell. A terrapin shell is a shell of small turtle found in North America. There was a shell of a turtle also that I had brought back from the native marshes, and that also he had brought from the native marshes, where means from Basra. With the ping pong ball, he invented a game to his with own, which could keep him engrossed. Engrossed means completely interested, completely busy. With that, he played a game which, with mostly he used to be busy with that. And what kind of game was there? For up to half an hour at a time. And when he used to play that game continuously for half an hour, a suitcase a suitcase that I had taken to Iraq had become damaged on the journey. Now the author also had a suitcase, and which was now damaged, means not of much use. That was also a playing thing for Midge. Why? How did he do? What did he do with that? Become a damage for the journey home, so that the lid, when closed, remained at a slope from one end to the other. Now that suitcase, when it was closed, it was somehow damaged, and it made a slope, and that slope was very much helpful to Midge. Why? What did he do? Midge discovered that if he placed the ball on the high end, it would run down the length of the suitcase. Obviously, we can know that whenever there is whenever we place something which is on a higher altitude, it's going to roll down. So he knew that if I'll place a ball or a marble there, it's going to roll over and come down. So he knew that game. So he used to come and keep it on the edge, and that would roll down. So run down the length of the suitcase, and it used to run down. He would dash around to the other end and ambush. Ambush is actually a word used for the people, those who are hiding somewhere, and suddenly they attack. It's mostly used in armies, and whenever there is a fight, that's known as an ambush. An attack suddenly, when they are hiding and you are not knowing, and they suddenly put an attack on you, that's known as an ambush. So he used to roll that ball, and he used to quickly go in front and try to hold and ambush that its arrival, hide from it. Many times he used to hide from the ball. Crouching means sitting down in a small position, to spring up and take it by surprise, and then he used to suddenly jump and catch hold of the ball. That was all the things that he did. Grab it means hold it and trot off with it to the high end once more, and then again he used to hold it tightly, then run, and then he used to place it again on the suitcase on the height, and then he used to leave it. So this is how he played. Outside the house, I exercised him on a lead Perseus, as if he had been a dog. Now that was what he did inside. Now many times he used to take him outside also. So when he used to take him outside for a little bit of walk and exercise, had been a dog, and he used to take him as if it was a dog. Many people take the dog for a walk outside. He used to take the otter for a walk. Mitch quickly discovered certain compulsive habits that are impossible to control. That's known as compulsive, which is very compulsory. He has to do that on the walk in the London street, like the ritual of children who, on their way to and from school, must place their feet must place their feet squarely on the center. Many of us have a habit whenever we are walking and there are squares. Those we try to place our feet between those squares. We don't like to put our feet on the lines. So that is just an impulsive thing. It doesn't have any logical meaning, but yet we place our, and especially children do jump and place their feet in between the center. So that was the thing on the center of each paving blocks. On the blocks also must touch every seventh upright from the iron railing, and children also have the habit of touching the railing when we are walking. There are railings beside, and you will see that children will try to touch those railings, then they will leave the end, then again they will walk for few distance and then they will get hold, as if every seventh railing has to be touched, iron railing has to be touched, and passing to the outside of every second lamppost. And if there are lampposts, they used to pass to the outside of the lamppost, means just besides that. Opposite to my flat was a single storied primary school. Now just next to the writer's house apartment, there was a school, small school, single storied primary school, along whose frontage, means in front, ran a low wall some 2 feet high, and there was a small wall 2 feet high. On his way home, but never on his way out. So he used to jump on that, walk on that. Mage would tug me to this wall, and he used to just uh, forcefully take the writer there. Tug means carry, push, pull, jump on that railing, and gallop the full length of its 30 yards. And he used to love to run on that railing of that 2 feet height wall, and he used to run on that full length. And the hopeless distraction means something that takes away one's attention from what one is doing. That is known as distraction. What we are doing, we used to forget, and we are now engrossed in something else, both of pupil and of staff within. And when you used to do this thing, the students studying inside and the teachers also used to get distracted, because Midge used to run on that railing. Everybody used to see him running. It is it is not, I suppose, in any way strange that the average Londoner means people living in London, should not recognize an otter. Now the thing was that otter is not a common animal that we can understand. So it is amongst the family of the Mustelids. Okay, that is something. There are lots of animals just like otter, but they are very much different. They have look alike, but they are different, because otter belong to the other family. But if you have a very good knowledge, then only you will understand. Otherwise there are lots of other animals also, those look like the otter. So now in London, nobody was aware of that animal, and nobody knew from which family also it belonged. This is the family of otter. Lots of animals. There is always the family of animals, as we know, and those animals look like the other family members. So otters have almost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to 6 different species, just looking like as we have in the cat family. There is the cat family: the lion, tiger, leopard, cheetah, panther, cougar, everything, leopards, they all belong to the cat family. In the same way, the otters also have their family, but we know about the cat family, but we do not know much about the otters. So obviously in London, this animal is not to be found. So people were very much confused there, and nobody would recognize also what actually this animal is. So here it says that Londoners should not recognize an otter. Obviously they did not recognize the otter, but the variety of guesses as to what kind of animal this might be came as a surprise to me. But many people used to get give him a surprised answer when they used to call the otter with different name, because nobody knew what kind of an animal it was. And those replies that the author received were really very much hilarious as well as very much surprising to him. So he says that he got lots of reviews and he has noted down few, and we will also see that how surprising people gave the answers and what they thought about the animal. Otter belong to a comparatively small group of animals called musteliners that I told you previously. I have shown you the picture also that lots of 6 to 7, 5 to 7 are species that belong to the same group of the family, shared by a badger. Now see, badger is also, it looks like otter. Mongoose, it too looks like an otter. Next is weasel, that also looks like an otter. Sloth, that is also just like him. Mink and others. So these are all the animals that do look like otter. I faced a continuous barrage of conjectural questions, means a stream of questions filled with guesses. Means lots of people guessed that this is that animal, this is that animal. So these were the guesses that the writer received. Questions that spread all musteliners. But the otter more random guess hit on a baby seal. Now obviously we know that seal is a very large animal, and somebody might have seen him on the street when the author used to take him for a ride, and these are the guesses, how funny they are. Someone told that it is a baby seal. And a squirrel, somebody said it's a squirrel. Now how can it be a squirrel? Somebody said it is a squirrel. Some other guess were that is that a walrus? Now walrus is a very very mighty animal, huge animal, even bigger than a seal. And somebody said, is it a walrus, mister? That were the guesses that people gave on there when they first saw the otter. Reduce my giggles, means the author used to just laugh when he used to listen to these guesses, that how people are guessing those names. Now how can it be a walrus? Walrus is a really very large animal, very very large. And outside a dog show I heard a hippo. Now just imagine, he had been to a dog show, the otter was with him, and somebody said it's a hippo. Now we can imagine, we all know hippo, it's also a very very large and heavy animal. How can a hippo be such a small creature? So somebody said that it's a hippo. A beaver, now beavers also do look like it, but they also are water animals, but they have a different tail. So beavers, is it a beaver? Somebody guessed, is it a bear cub? A bear also, we understand that it is also a very large animal. A leopard, somebody said. One apparently that has changed its spots, and somebody said it's a leopard, a baby leopard, but it doesn't have spots on it. So how can it be a leopard? Because otters are really very different from all the wild guesses that he was getting. And Brontosaurus, now somebody even guessed that it was a species of a dinosaur. Obviously we know that there are no dinosaurs, but somebody guessed that also, that it's a species of a dinosaur family. These were the wild guesses that the author got. So obviously he also used to laugh. Midge was anything but an otter. Now the writer says that everybody gave wild guesses, lots of guesses. No, I couldn't find a single person who said that it's an otter. But the question for which I award the highest score came from a laborer digging a hole in a street. Now he says that these were the wild guesses which I loved really to listen. But if somebody would tell me that whom would you give the award of the most bizarre, the most different question, or the most wildest guess that you have got for this author, for the author, then the author said that I would give one the award, the highest award, because that was the most peculiar answer, the most shocking answer that I had received. I would like to, if it was possible, I would like to give him a highest award for his guess, what he did, and that came from a laborer, means a person who was digging hole in a street. Maybe he was working there, and when the author was going with the otter, what did the laborer who was digging the hole say to him? That was the most best answer that the writer had received, and he has shared with us in the lesson. It happened so that once a laborer was digging hole, and the writer was just going with the author. I was still far from him when he laid down his tools. Now, the writer was just coming, was just passing by, and the laborer who was digging hole, he saw, and he actually, when the writer was very far away, yet he stopped digging. He placed his tools with which he was digging on the side. He kept it, put his hand on his hip. He placed both his hand on his hip. We can understand what was the body language of the person. If somebody acts in front of us when we are coming in such a way, we can understand now that is a sign of a problem. And began to stare, and that person started staring at him continuously, stopped his work, placed the tool side, put his hands on his both hips, and waited for him to come close and just see what had happened, and began to stare. And he was continuously staring at the animal and the author. As I drew nearer, and still the author was far, and when he came close, I saw his expression of surprise and affront. Now, when he came very close, that person was still standing, waiting for the author to come close. And when he reached very close to him, as though he would have me know that he was not one upon whom to play jokes. So obviously, from the body language, the writer understood that now the person is serious, and I cannot joke with him or be friendly with him, because he is really very serious. Maybe he is irritated at and surprised at looking what was coming with me, means the order. So now the writer was a bit nervous, because he knew that this person is not going to take it in a joke form, but he is very serious. I came abreast, means close to him. He spat down and glared, looking continuously glared, and threw, and then clawed out. After that, the person spoke to him, and see what answer he gave. Here, mister, what is that supposed to be? Just imagine. This was the best thing that he liked. After all the rubbish answers he got, the awarded question was, what is that supposed to be? Means the person had no idea, and he couldn't even guess what kind of animal this was. So he was so much surprised, and he said, what the hell is this that you are carrying with you? So he had no idea, and this was the best response that the author had received. So he was very much surprised by the person what he said. So here we come to the end of the story, and obviously, as usual, you know what you have to do. Please do go through the chapter, and especially this chapter has few difficult words and meanings also in it. So please do read them, because lots of words are new for you in the chapter. Here they have been used. So please do read down the new words and the meanings. They are given on the side of your text. And after reading the chapter twice, please do write down the question answers that are in your text. They are given just after the placed after the chapter, and after even the first, second, third, and fourth part. So please do write down the answers in your fair book. So that's the end of the chapter. Thank you very much.